So, hey guys, today it seems like we've got new cards, so you know what time it is. It's time to look at all the new cards. So, let's see what we got. Okay, so these are all the cards I've got. Just the tour guide. If I pull a tour guide, I'll be very marginally upset, I suppose. So, let's see. With the new cards, we have Golden Allure Queen. It seems generic-ish. Wait, no, it's not, is it? This card is Link Summon. You can special summon one Allure Queen monster from your deck or graveyard. And if you do, this card gains 1500 attack until the end of the next turn. Okay. So you could technically use this to climb into access code, I guess, for the time being, depending on what Allure Queen does. You can activate the effect of your monsters with Allure Queen in their original names that equip monsters to themselves as quick effects. Oh. Ah. Hmm. Okay, I'm vaguely remembering what Allure Queen might be now. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, you can destroy one card on the field. Also, Allure Queen monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. So that's part of this effect. It's not continuous. And this is soft once per turn, for whatever reason. This isn't hard once per turn. And they don't get banished after being summoned. What? Ah. So if I were just to resolve this effect already, I would have two spellcasters on my field, assuming Allure Queen's also a spellcaster. So if I can pull one more spellcaster out of my ass, then I can link these three off for Allure Queen, but again, like Golden Allure Queen to special summon Allure Queen. And then this effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect. This looks like it could be used to set up an infinite. There are some cards that you could potentially give your opponent to trigger. It's just anything that's a mandatory trigger to some action you do, and then you'd be able to use this to pop as many of what cards? Any cards on the field. So you could be popping something on your field. Like, just for example, we could be popping Baby Ceresaurus. I mean, that's not exactly the best setup, but you know, you can. Allure Queen level 3, Queen's Guard, Allure Queen level 7, Chaos Allure Queen. So any of these. Do these need to be special summoned by some way? Let's go with Allure Queen level 7. Once per turn, if you control this card that was special summoned by the effect of Allure Queen level 5. By Allure Queen level 3. Queen's Bodyguard. Allure Queen monsters on your side of the field cannot be selected as an attack target. Once per turn, you can target one level 3 or lower monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card as an equip spell. Huh. That's not that great. During your standby phase, you can send this card, equip Wolfville monster to. Okay. So, what about this one? You can discard one other light or dark monster, special summon this card. You can target one monster in either graveyard, equip it to this card as an equipped spell, and if you do, this card's name becomes that equipped monster's name until then phase. Then if you equip a light or dark monster card by this effect, you can special summon one dark Allure Queen monster from your deck or graveyard. And you can only use each effect of Chaos Allure Queen once per turn. So the most degenerate thing I can immediately think is this can equip any card. So the most obvious thing to do would be to equip the little Buster Whelps. So we could lock our opponent out of the extra deck, lock them out of using cards in the graveyard, and some other things like that. And yeah, that'd be it, right? Can't really think of anything else to do with these cards at the moment, so okay, I guess. Perform Mage, Trapeze, High Magician. So I've read all the Perform Mage cards, and genuinely, I don't think they do anything. Even without that hard once per turn effect, without the hard once per turn that they eroded onto it, I'm not 100% sure what you'd be doing with that card. Alright. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while it has material. Not that important, I guess. Your opponent takes any effect damage you would have taken a number of times each turn up to the number of materials attached to this card. That's weird, but okay. Looks like this is an FTK card or something, then, from what I can tell. If this card has Perform Mage, Trapeze Magician as material against this effect, you can detach one material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase this turn. So that affects basically a nothing burger. But as far as I can tell, if we still had this effect, if it wasn't hard once return, it could be an FTK now, but alright. Magistus Chorozo. You need essentially one extra deck monster plus a spellcaster monster. Is there any extra deck type that's not here? Listed. I think that's all of them. Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, Link. Yeah, that's probably all of them. Must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by sending the correct fusion material monster cards you control to the graveyard. Oh, this is generic to make then, somewhat. Huh. Wait. Oh. This is a really good super poly target. If you were playing a spellcaster deck anyways. Huh. Alright. Once for turn 1 a monster declares an attack, you can target it, negate the attack, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack until the end of this turn. Then you can return that monster to the hand. That includes your own monsters or your opponent's monsters. Negate the attack, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack until the end of this turn, then you can return that monster to the hand. So all of the things listed here have to happen for this to happen. Target it, negate the attack, gain attack. So if I attacked with Ash Blossom Just Ring, how does that work? So Ash Blossom is going to declare an attack. I can target Ash Blossom, no problem. I can negate the attack as well. And if I do, this will gain attack equal to that monster's attack. And then, so is that assuming you do get an attack increase? I can return an Ash Blossom Just Ring that would be on my field for whatever reason to the hand. I mean, this requires the battle phase to do, but I'm just wondering if there's any, like, decent application for this, really. Is, Magician Souls, isn't that, like, a 0/0? I'm not 100% sure. But, like, if I was playing, like, Dark Magician, and I could return, like, Magician's Rod with this, that's not, like, entirely bad, I suppose. Something like that, maybe? Yeah. Well, whatever the case. Alright. Clear Vicious Knight. You attribute summon this card by attributing one monster that mentions Clear World. What? Okay. Gains attack equal to the highest original attack among monsters your opponent controls. Your choice if tied, you are unaffected by the effects of Clear World. While this tribute summon card is in the monster zone, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters on the field with less attack than this card. It's a floodgate. Until this line, this card looked like absolutely dog water. But also, real quick, let me check. I see. This doesn't require you to play Clear World at all. This is just this is just worse Vanity Fiend, really, if we're looking at it, right? But why would you even bother playing this? Vanity Fiend is like not as big, but it requires one tribute. I'm sure you can work around that better, right? Cannot be normal summon / set, must first be special summon with max MetalMorph that was activated by tributing a level 5 or higher dragon monster. You can reveal this card in your hand, set one MetalMorph trap from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you negate the activation. Wait, that's an Omni negate? Okay. Then you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of one attack position monster your opponent controls. Okay. While we're here, might as well check MetalMorph, I guess. Rare MetalMorph. Activate this card by targeting one machine monster in the field. While this card is face up on the field, that machine monster gains 500 attack. Also negate the first spell effect that targets that monster. No. Flame Coating MetalMorph. Tribute one face up monster that mentions Max MetalMorph. Specials on one monster that cannot be normal summon / set and mentions Max MetalMorph from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Then you can equip this card to it with the following effects. The equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard. You can send this card to the graveyard instead. Okay. Time Engine. This card is always treated as a MetalMorph card. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, target one of those monsters, special summon it. Then if you special summon a level 5 or higher machine monster by this effect and have a MetalMorph trap on your field or graveyard, except this card on the field, you can apply this effect. Destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, then you inflict damage to your opponent equal to that special summon monster's original attack. It's like awkward. Max MetalMorph. Tribute one face-up monster, so that's any monster. You could tribute your opponent's monster technically if you had Lair of Darkness. Special summon one monster that cannot be normal summon / set and mentions Max MetalMorph from your hand, deck, or graveyard, then you can equip this card to it with the following effect. The equipped monster gains 400 attack defense. It cannot be destroyed by spell or monster effects. Also, your opponent cannot target with monster effects or spell cards or effects. Huh. This has to equip to something that mentions Max MetalMorph, which is a little awkward, but aside from that, kinda interesting, I suppose. Does this count as a MetalMorph or something? No, that's just the Red Ice card. Max MetalMorph. But that Max MetalMorph has to attribute a level 5 or higher dragon monster. Never mind. Weird. Metal Illusionist. Increase this card's level by 4 during your opponent's turn only, making this a level 5. Okay. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you set one MetalMorph trap from your deck. Then if Max MetalMorph is in your graveyard, you can draw one card. You can declare one other monster type. This card becomes that type until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's how you get the dragon, I guess? Alright. Goblin Bikers Gone Wild. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are goblin monsters, you can normal summon this card without attributing. You can only use each of the following effects of Goblin Bikers Gone Wild once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower goblin monster from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field, attach it to one Goblin XYZ monster you control. Wait, what? Oh. So you're telling me if I detach this as this material, I can then equip any card, basically. Well, attach any card. Huh. This includes your own, which is just, What attribute are you? Light. If it was dark, I would know some targets. I'd have to research about the light ones, but... Oh. Alright. Special summon a level 4 or lower goblin monster for your deck. That effect's pretty good, I guess, right? Wait, this is generic enough because you technically don't need you don't need to be playing goblin fully because this doesn't lock you. I'm not 100% sure what you would do with this though. And you'd have to play Garnets. I'm not sure if it's worth, right? Perform Mage Fire Dancer. Once per turn, you target one Perform Mage monster you control. If it attacks a defense position monster this turn, inflict piercing bell damage to your opponent. Oh. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Perform Mage monster from your deck to your hand, except for Fire Dancer. You can only use this effect of Perform Mage Fire Dancer once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It loses 500 attack. It does not burn or anything. Okay. If this card is normal special summon, add a Perform Mage to your hand from the deck, except for itself. That's it, basically. So far, Perform Mages, I don't see anything. Oh, this card's actually pretty busted. Goblin Biker Grand Breakout. Tribute one monster, special summon a goblin monster from your deck, but cannot attack this turn. So this actually would pair really well with Gone Wild, being able to summon Goblin Bikers Gone Wild, which then special summons another goblin, and that goblin grabs like more crap. So if you were playing a hybrid build of something with Goblin, it would be pretty good because of this card. So like let's assume I'm playing I don't know what would be doable. I guess you could play Memento, and then if I normal summon one of my Memento guys, I can activate this to tag out for the Goblin card that's in Memento, because that's any goblin monster, right? Can't attack this turn, but can still activate its effects and everything. So that's one way you can utilize this as kind of a way to dodge Imperm and Effect Veiler, right? Which sounds pretty good. And it will genuinely always be able to dodge at least Imperm and Veiler because it tributes for cost. So, good way to resolve some effects, potentially. When a monster declares an attack, you bash this card from graveyard and detach any number of materials from Goblin XYZ monsters you control. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1,000 attack for each material detached until the end of this turn. And I mean, like this effect, not the best thing in the world, but I mean, it's nice to have the option, I guess. And it's when any monster declares an attack, so this allows you to also potentially get over some big bodies. And also you can use it a little defensively, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. Dominus Purge. What? If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that adds a card, cards from the deck to the hand negate that effect. Then if you have a trap in your graveyard, destroy that card. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Dark Water and Fire monsters for the rest of this duel. You can only activate one Dominus Purge per turn. Oh yeah, this card's pretty good. So this is essentially Ash Blossom Joyous Spring with some restrictions. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. So this means that this is like better than Imperm Index. Like one specific reason being you don't need to technically have this card set for turn, so it can't be like dustered as freely potentially. Alright, Dominus Impulse. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster, negate that effect. Then if you have a trap in your graveyard, destroy that card. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of light, earth, and wind monsters for the rest of this duel. Ooh, brutal. But this effect is just hella good, so essentially we want the Dominus card, so no choice but to pull on the selection, I guess. Alright. Perform Mage Shadowmaker. When a card or effect is activated that targets this. Actually, wait. I need to reread this card. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster or monsters. This doesn't work on inherent summon kind of decks. So if I was playing a deck that specifically added cards to my hand and then special summon them, that this would be really bad. And then this requires your opponent to control a card, but both kind of require that. So, that's a bit awkward. So this card here would be nearly useless against Kashtira. The only point you can stop is like Earth or potentially Theosis, one of those two, and then this one can only stop searches that happen after your opponent commits a monster or card to the field. So this works against like, wait, if your opponent controls a card, what does control a card mean exactly? Wait, is there any circumstance where this won't happen? If you were to discard a card to add a card, I think that's the only time you wouldn't be able to. If you were to activate Rhoda, you technically control Rhoda. So that doesn't really work. So this card's just a little bit better than this one, or no? If you activate Branded Fusion, you control Branded Fusion, right? So a card that would just special summon itself from the hand, if that was the only summon you did, then Dominus would be useless? No, so these cards are, no, they're fine. Alright, just had to double check. 3 level 5 monsters. Well, everyone knows level 5 monsters are complete garbage. Right now, I would say that since Kashtira has received, like, just their existence, honestly, since Kashtira now exists, level 5 is technically the worst level to do, like, XYZ summons with. And they also have, like, the worst XYZ monsters, basically. Rank 5 being the worst. As of currently, I believe that should be the case. So, alright. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card, so you can target this yourself, detach one material, special summon for 1 Perform Mage Shadowmaker from your extra deck, so it's itself. Okay, you can only use each of the following effects of Perform Mage. Following. meaning you can use the first one multiple times? Huh? Weird. Okay, that can be used to make yugioh at least. You can detach one material from this card, then send one Perform Mage monster from your deck to the graveyard, add one rank up magic spell from your deck to your hand. This can send at least Trick Clown, I think. And then that's like a level 4 body, I'm not 100% sure. But okay. Add a rank up magic spell from your deck to your hand. If the last material is detached from this card, except during the damage step, you can special summon one Perform Mage monster from your graveyard. Uh-huh. Special summon a Perform Mage monster from graveyard. So you could also use these two effects in tandem as well. So it doesn't just have to be Trick Clown, but it could be. So you could send a high level Perform Mage actually with this, then special summon it with this effect. Okay, gotcha. And actually, this is no hard ones per turn, but I don't know if that's really abusable. Okay then. Goblins. Goblin Bikers Gone Bonkers. You can target face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of goblin monsters you control. Detach one material from a monster you control if you attach those monsters to this card as material. So that is an ignition effect. Okay, so it seems kind of board breakery. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of goblin XYZ monsters you control. Detach 3 materials from a monster or monsters you control, and if you do, send those targeted cards to the graveyard. This also works on back row, so Goblin looking pretty viable now. Alright, cool. Perform Mage Trapeze Witch. Perform Mage monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. Okay. Well, you control Perform Mage monster except for Perform Mage Trapeze Witch. Your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. When an attack is declared involving your Perform Mage monsters and opponent's monster, you can make that opponent's monster lose 600 attack. There's some random attack losing effects on all these new monsters. I wonder if they're like relevant. Hold up, let's see. Is this on anything? If this card on the field is destroyed by ball or card effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field, it loses 500 attack. You don't say. Like, perhaps we target Shadowmaker to lose attack, and then Shadowmaker effect, I guess. That's one way to trigger that effect, I guess. Clear Phantom. Unaffected by the effects of Clear World, you can discard 2 cards including this card, add 2 cards from your deck to your hand that are Clear World or spell traps that mention it. That's slightly concerning, but okay. You can only use this effect to Clear Phantom once per turn. If this card is destroyed, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, send the top 3 cards of the deck to the graveyard. So you can't Dominus this, at least. You can Ash this, and it's just like same pain as Trade-in. Okay. If this card is destroyed at all, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, send the top 3 cards of their deck to the graveyard. You must do this. I have no idea. My brain's just fried from looking at that. Alright. Cannot be normal summon slash set. Must first be special summon with MetalMorph that was activated by tributing a level 5 or higher fiend monster. You can reveal this card, set one MetalMorph trap from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. You can only use this effect of Metal Zoa X once per turn. Twice per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect or spell card or effect quick effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Not that great. Maybe these guys are generically splashable enough that we can just put in like a Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon or like a couple of them or something to grab an Omni Negate. We'll see, I guess. Castle or Queen Snail. Alright. We already read that. Performapal Sky Magician Girl. This is not Perform Mage. Okay. If you control a continuous spell, do pendulum monsters count as continuous spells? Let's assume they do, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can send one level 4 or lower light spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can target one spell trap on the field, destroy it. Okay. This is a level 5 spellcaster, so you can use it to special summon the Shadowmaker, I guess. Red Eyes and Metal Claws Dragon. You can only use each of the following effects. Once returned, send one face down card you control to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, and you have MetalMorph in your field or graveyard, you can add one MetalMorph trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So you could add back the MetalMorph you attributed as well, so you don't have to play multiple necessarily. Huh. But what does this do for you? Nothing really. Would it? Actually, I guess if I were to use like this to set a MetalMorph, and then that to send a MetalMorph, and then set that MetalMorph again, I could then attribute this to summon this. I guess. That's an idea. Perform Mage Cup Trigger. Oh, this is level 5, maybe we use this. You can target one Perform Mage XYZ monster you control, attach this card to it as material. That's the pendulum effect. If a card or cards is added to your extra deck, except during the damage step, you can add one face-up Perform Mage Metal monster from your extra deck to your hand. Okay, if this card is in your hand, you can target one XYZ monster on the field, detach one material from it. If you special summon this card, then make one XYZ monster on the field lose 600 attack. What? Okay. That doesn't target, does it? No, it does target. Okay. If this card is detached from an XYZ monster and sent to graveyard to activate that monster's effect, you can target two XYZ monsters you control. Attach one material from one of those monsters to the other. Bro, this is so confusing. I have no idea why you would want to do any of this, but okay. There's probably something. Ball Balancer. During your main phase, you can send one. Oh, whoops. You can send one Perform Mage monster from your face-up extra deck to the graveyard. Wait. Extra deck to the graveyard, then increase this card's pendulum scale by that sent monsters. This is generic. Are these all generic? Can I use these to generically pendulum summon or something? No idea. Maybe. Okay, if you control a Perform Mage monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Add one Perform Mage Pendulum monster from your deck to your face-up extra deck. Destroy one Perform Mage monster you control. When an opponent special summoned monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So far, I see absolutely nothing. Does this card really do anything? It's just this effect, right? To put a guy to your face-up extra deck, I guess if we pair that with Cup Breaker, we can add Perform Mage from our deck to the hand in a really like roundabout way. Pendulum Treasure. Add one Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck. Face up. This card's not new. Okay. Rank up Magical Force. Target one rank 4 spellcaster XYZ monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but negate its effects. Then special summon a rank 5 spellcaster XYZ monster from your extra deck by using it as material. I'm not really sure what the target for this is, because this might be an older card rather than one of the newer ones, but alright, whatever. By using it as material, if you attach this card to the summon monster, this is treated as an XYZ summon, so it will be properly summoned. But what is this actually supposed to summon? I'm not sure. It's probably not going to be the Shadow Maker, because the Shadow Maker adds this card, right? So that you must be intended to make something with this. Allure Palace. Spellcaster monster you control gain 500 attack defense. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add to your hand, or special summon to your opponent's field one Allure Queen monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Allure Palace thrice per turn. Wait, what? So I can send one card from my hand, send special summon to my opponent's field an Allure Queen monster 3 times. Why would I want to do this? No idea. Allure Queen effect monsters you control gain this effect. You can send this card equipped with a card by its own effect to your graveyard. Special summon one spellcaster monster with 1,500 or less attack per hand or deck. Weird. But this can be definitely used to FTK. That's the conclusion I came up with. Alright. When this card is activated, you can add one Allure Queen monster or one Allure Palace from your deck to your hand. So more consistency, I guess. Is there like supposed to be an Allure archetype or something? Each Allure Queen monster you control gains attack equal to the attack of the monsters equipped to it by its effect. And what? Monster control its attack equal to the attack equipped to it by its effect. Okay, so they can get kind of big, maybe. You can send one other spell trap you control to the graveyard. Special summon as many Alorgui monsters with different names as possible from your graveyard. You can only use this effective Allure Dance once per turn. You can only activate one Allure Dance per turn. Like, honestly, at this point, I think this deck can't just straight up FTK. I'm not 100% sure, but, like, it's looking like it. Incoming Machine. Add one monster that mentions MaximalMorph or MetalMorph trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This card's pretty good. Alright. If you control a MetalMorph trap, you can banish this card from your graveyard. The target one defense position monster your opponent controls, change it to face-up attack position. Yeah. That deals with Baguska randomly. Just anything else, though? I don't really think so, right? But yeah, Incoming Machine. This is pretty good. You have, like, kind of an archetype Rota here. And it's a really good one, honestly. Max MetalMorph. Tribute 1 face of monster. Oh, right. Max MetalMorph. We've already read this. Okay. Ruby Saphras, the Adamant Jewel. Rank 9. Rock Monster. This face-up card would be destroyed. You can detach one material from this card. Instead, gains the following effects based on the attribute of its attached materials. Fire. When this card declares an attack on a monster with higher attack, you can make this card's attack become double its current attack until the end of the damage step. Water. Once per turn, or once per opponent's turn, quick effect. You can target one card you control this turn, negate any card or effect activated by your opponent that targeted that card. Well, that's a trippy ass effect. Yeah, this card seems terrible because I have no idea how you would make this under the correct circumstances. Maybe has some usage, but okay. You're unaffected by the effects of Clear World. During your main phase, you normal summon one monster that mentions Clear World in addition to your normal summon / set, so that's how you summon Mr. Skill Drain, I guess. This face-up card, its owner's control leaves the field by an opponent's card. You can special summon one monster that mentions Clear World from your deck. So that this can summon Mr. Skill Drain with that effect as well. Okay. Giant Crack Corn. I just had to take in that monster for a second. Okay. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If you do, change the attack target to this card and perform damage calculation. You can target one plant monster you control except for itself, or except for this card, basically. You know, Giant Crackhorn, no Giant Crackhorn. The attack of that monster and this card become the combined original attack of both monsters. Become. That's a forever. Weird. Not particularly useful for anything I know of. Metal Flame Swordsman. Same condition as before, basically, but with level 5 or higher warrior monster. MetalMorph, shuffle thing, same thing. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, this card gains 300 attack and inflicts 500 damage to your opponent when that card / effect results. Oh, this is basically just Tax Dragon then. Does this start a chain? You can only use this effect of Metal Flame Swordsman once per turn. As in this effect. This effect. There's no hard once per turn. I don't think this starts a chain either. Oh, dude, that's actually hella annoying, isn't it? Is this start a chain? It's not clear, right? Semicolon there. Yeah. There's no colon or semicolon here, so my assumption would have to be that it doesn't start a chain, right? Okay. Perform Mage War Dancer. If you control a Perform Mage monster, you can special summon this card. When a monster declares an attack, you can target one attack position monster on the field, change it to defense position. So far, no effects, basically. Alright. Okay. This card is Pendulum Summon. Add a Polymerization. What the hell? You have to play normal ass poly. Alright, I guess. You can only use this effective from Mage Water Dancer once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, target one attack position monster on the field, change it to defense position. That doesn't really seem to do anything. This effect is not hard once per turn also. But I mean, I don't think that's necessarily that useful. Clear Wall. If Clear World is on field, you can add one monster that mentions Clear World from your deck to your hand. Well, why is this so consistent now? Ugh. Monsters that mention Clear World cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. While you control a level 7 or higher monster that mentions Clear World, your opponent receives all effects of Clear World regardless of the monster attributes they control. Oh, that's annoying. What was Clear World's effect exactly again? Play with your hand revealed at all times. If you control 2 or more monsters, you cannot declare an attack. During your standby phase, destroy one face-up defense position monster you control. During your end phase, you discard one card. During your end phase, take 1,000 damage. You must pay 500 life points to activate a spell card. So Dark is the absolute worst one, so you're just flanking your opponent really hard, I guess. Being a main deck, like, main deck strategy, it's kind of like a thing we kind of need in the game, but like not in this way. Come on. All right. Once per turn, when a monster is destroyed by battle involving your fire dragon monster, you can target one of those destroyed monsters special summon to your field in defense position. During your opponent's end phase, you can pay 1,000 life points and target one second spell trap in your graveyard. Set it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Oh, what? That's a soft once per turn as well. Weird. Doesn't seem that good necessarily. It might be under certain circumstances, I guess. You can target one goblin monster you control, one monster your opponent controls, or target one goblin monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Manage both monsters. You can send this face-up card from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target 5 of your banished goblin monsters with different names, special summon them. Wait, what the hell? Are you bashing them? Wait, what? Target a single. Oh, wait, this is a continuous trap. That's how this works. Oh, okay, I guess that's why. So, target one goblin monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, or one target one goblin monster in graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Bash both monsters. Oh, okay. I guess that card's like kind of good, right? Hmm. Wait, does that say bash both? Bash both. That's not the same wording as Promethean Princess. So, for example, if I target my own guy, I can't like quick effect tribute it and still have my opponent's card banished. Huh. A little less good, but still like decent effect overall. If this card is normal special zone, you can activate this effect. This turn, your monster that mentions Clear World can attack directly. Okay. Burn. Yeah, this has a burn effect. Okay. If your opponent controls a monster, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This, you can only use each of the following effects of Zilla the Fiendish Beast once per turn. This card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position. Then, if MetalMorph is not in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one monster from their hand. That's actually kind of intriguing. And then, during your main phase, you can set one MetalMorph trap from your deck. Don't know if there's any way to abuse that. Once per turn, you can target one performing trainer monster you control, then activate one of the following effects: reduce its level by 1. Or increase this card's pendulum scale by that monster's... That monster's what? By that monster's pendulum scale? I guess that's what it must be. If your opponent controls a monster or if a frame mage monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, but while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon except for perform range monsters. So this is how you get to the rank 5, I guess. If this card is special summon, you can reduce its level by 1. Optional, once per turn you can change the levels of all level 4 performing range monsters you control to level 5. What is this level 5 XYZ monster you're trying to make here? Equipped monster gains 400 attack for each trap in your graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Trap Gatherer once per turn after damage calculation. If the equipped monster is destroyed an opponent's monster by battle or inflicted battle damage to your opponent, you can send this card to the graveyard, set one trap from your graveyard. Okay. If a face-up trap you control will be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. Trap Gatherer seems kind of ass, not gonna lie. Then we have Time Engine and then Flame Coating MetalMorph. So, yeah. Looks like we'll all have to somewhat figure out perhaps how to play Goblin Bikers, or perhaps how to play, I guess, MetalMorph, or Perform Mage, or whatever, because we're all going to be pulling for this selection one way or another. And I think, like, all of these look, like, playable, but not necessarily, like, super good. But we'll see, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what Perform Mage is doing, right? I guess there was this guy. You could make this. Does this do anything? Uh, burn. Wait, the burn effect. Your opponent takes an effect damage. You would have taken a number of times each, starting out to the number of materials attached to this card. Oh god, is this just an FTK? Is that what this is? Like, I'm so lost. I'm gonna trigger this, then take 500 damage. Is there anything else? Don't take any effect damage, you would have taken. Is there something that does a large amount of effect damage to yourself? If I control, like, 2 trapeze high magicians. Huh. And I were to burn myself for 2000 via effect damage twice, that would just be game, right? I'm so lost with this card. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, I guess. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.